Shalom. I'm going to start off by giving all praises, honors, and glories to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachakwadash. I want to give the honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who taught us this 100% truth according to the spirits to be Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Peace and blessing to the hopeful elect out there pushing his word through the four corners of the earth in truth and sincerity. And peace and blessing to you hopeful believers out there which are also part of the elect. To I say Shalom. And once again, I want to say, call halal, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Yahweh be in the name of the Heavenly Father. In the name, Yahweh Shai. Be in the name of the word only calls Jesus, Yahweh Shai. Bahashem, Rachakwadash. Forgive me in the spirit to do the lesson on today. And the Lord will it feeds and edifies you, lamb and sheeps of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai of the house of Israel. But we got a video through the power and spirit of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. And I don't know necessarily what I'm going to title it. No Escape for America or Babylon the Great. No Escaping His Judgment. Or somewhere in that atmosphere, Because this is prophecy. You see, this is prophecy. And, to start it off, I'm going to get this right here, man. Before I go on to it, this is 2nd Esdras chapter 15 and verse 1. It says, Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy which I put in thy mouth, saith the Lord. You see, so we going into some prophecy. And the prophecy is that Russia, in the scriptures known as Magog, and Gog, will be the predominant one, one inflicting the damage or in destruction upon Esau's. Which the Russians are Edomites too, but against Babylon the Great, that harlot, you know what I'm saying? They're riding upon the beast, which Russia is not a part of that beast, but it will play a part in destroying that beast system, ran by that harlot, which is Babylon the Great America. It'll play a part in it. That is prophecy. And the reason I wanted to go into is because the brother Rock, shout out to the brother Rock, Shalom, but he had sent a video in the chat that goes into that Russia has this thing called the dead hand mechanism. I think I said it right, the dead hand mechanism. And pretty much what the dead hand mechanism is where, they say they was created because they was paranoid, which ultimately it was created due to the Lord putting a spirit upon them, but it was created because it was paranoid that if the U.S. were to send nuclear missiles upon Russia unexpectedly, they caught them off guard or whatnot, and it hit, their I guess they called it their I guess you could say the area where the individuals that control the missile launching and things like that, they press the button to send it off. If that area gets destroyed, well, there's a certain point to where if that gets destroyed, there's a way to where the missiles could be shot off without somebody physically having been there to press the big red button to shoot the missiles. You see? And the reason, it's crazy to seeing that because, that's why the scriptures speak about, it speaks about how that Esau, ultimately today, Esau is not going to be able to escape his judgment. He's not going to be able to escape Babylon the Great, his elixir of the Chaldeans, so the headquarters of wickedness, this place that he has set up to pollute the whole earth, known as the hammer of the earth, Babylon the Great. Esau's rulership is not going to be escape the judgment of the Lord. It's not. It's not going to be escape the judgment of the Lord, you see. So I'm going to get this right quick. This is Isaiah 46 and 10. It says, declaring the end from the beginning, from ancient times of things that are not yet done, saying my counsel shall stand, and I will do all my pleasure. You see, and this is the counsel of the Lord. This is what the Lord has proclaimed from the beginning. As the scriptures say, where the word of a king is, there is power. This is prophecy. This was said before. The Lord has it already set up that Russia is going to be the main one destroying Babylon the Great alongside with its neighboring countries and things like that. You see, and even when you read Obadiah, you read Revelation 17, those speak about the allies of America. So not just Russia, which is an enemy of America, and Iran and, Syria and all them, but it'll be also the allies of America, which you see that happening too, with the NATO being all broken up. Canada is not fucking with America. France, which is part of the EU, they're not fucking with America. All these different nations are saying we're not fucking with America. So ultimately, you see that Obadiah being fulfilled in that Revelation 17. The beast is starting to hate the harlot, the whore that rideth upon it. Are you seeing the hatred towards it? So they're going to join sides with Russia. But Russia is going to be the main one inflicting the damage upon America. That's why when you read the scriptures say that the little ones shall say, "I am strong," because they're backed. They're gonna be backed by Russia, because Russia is a threat to America. It is a threat. It is a threat. You see, so I want to get a couple of scriptures going into that. Russia being the main one to bring the destruction, and the reason that the Lord has that mechanism to show you that there's no way you can escape Esau. There's no way. Whether you aim a missile, you like we took out their facility that controls the missiles. That's not going to stop the missiles, the 200 million thermonuclear missiles being shot upon this place, Babylon the Great, and destroying it. It's not going to stop His will, because the Lord proclaimed it. Like I said again, where the word of a king is, there is power, and that's the word of the power. So I'm going to start off with 2 Ezra 7 and 43. This is 2 Ezra chapter 7, verse 43 says, "But the day of doom should be the end of this time, and the beginning of immorality, for the come wherein corruption is past." You see, intemperance is at an end, infidelity is cut off, righteousness is grown, and truth is sprung up. And that's what we're going to see happen. That's what's going to happen, and the one that's going to play a part in that day of doom is going to be Esau. Because that's a funny thing, too. Not only is Russia going to play a large part in destroying Babylon the Great, America, Russia are Edomites, too, which is it's comedic. It's funny, the Lord does it. But it's fulfilled prophecy, as scriptures, as Yahushua said, if a house divided against itself, it cannot stand. You see? So we see they're divided. You see it. But nevertheless, that day of doom is going to come. And that day of doom is talking about the destruction of this place, Babylon the Great, by way of 200 million thermonuclear missiles, which will be mainly spearheaded by Russia. Russia will be the main one leading the charge as far as shooting the missiles on America. They will be doing the predominantly. They'll be doing the most damage. They'll be doing the majority of the damage, aside from those chariots, sending the fire. But besides for that, Russia, So I want to get going from there. I want to because I got these scriptures pulled up that had came to mind. Let's get Proverbs 16 and 4. This is Proverbs 16 and 4. It says, "The Lord hath made all things for Himself, yea, even the wicked for the day of evil." So this is prophecy. These is prophecy pertaining this place, Mystery Babylon, Babylon the Great. This is prophecy, because Babylon the Great, Mystery Babylon, is to be destroyed by fire. It's going to be destroyed by fire. It's going to be destroyed by thermonuclear missiles. This is what the Lord has ordained. This is the day of doom. You see, you read about that all throughout Revelation. You see, Revelation, Obadiah speaks about what? Speaks about those judgments that's coming up, that's going to come upon that second death. And I say the arrows. Job speaks about it. Job's 20 speaks about them glittering swords. Those glittering swords are nuclear missiles. It speaks about that. It speaks about the destruction of Babylon the Great, America, which will be done by ultimately Yahweh Bashma Shai. As it said in Revelation 17, He put it in their heart to do His will. And that's talking about them. That right there is talking about the allies of the Babylon the Great, but even the what is it called? The kings of the earth. Let's get that. The kings of the earth. This is Proverbs 21 and 1. Says the king's heart, which heart in the Hebrew is la'ab, which means mind, which is the spirit also. So the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord Yahweh, as the rivers of water. He turneth to whatsoever He will. So even all the kings of the earth, the Lord is orchestrating their minds and controlling every move they make. And that's why He had Russia make that dead hand mechanism. It didn't make the dead hand mechanism for no reason. Everything was created for a purpose. So the Lord had Vladimir Putin, make that dead hand mechanism. So when America does hit that facility that orchestrates the shooting of the missiles, it's not going to stop the missiles from being shot. So prophecy could be fulfilled. right? So I'm going to get this. This is Ezekiel chapter 38 and 39. It says, "And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog and the land Magog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and prophesy against him," right? And say, "Thus saith the Lord thy power, behold, I am against thee, O Gog, and chief prince of Meshach and Tubal. And I will turn thee back and put hooks in thy jaws." Now, this is talking about who? This is talking about Russia. Because when you go, we know, of course, the sons Magog, Magog, Gog. Those are the sons of Japhet, right? But when you go to that territory that Japhet, you know what I'm saying, which I could pull a picture up. When you go to that territory where kind of like where Magog was at, when you go look at it, Magog is pretty much he's where he pitched tent at, I guess you'll say. That's where Russia is. That's where Russia is. Russia is right there where Magog is at. Where Magog is pretty much located at, it's like that's where Russia is. Gog and Magog, that's where Russia is. Russia is in Gog and Magog. That's where it's located. That's the area that it's in. You see? So it's not literally, it's talking about the landmass. That landmass and the ones that inherit that landmass are the Russians. They're going to play a part in destroying this place, which is finna go into. It says, "I will turn thee back and put hooks in thy jaws," which we've seen happen recently. That peace, let there be peace that that Trump was trying to disclose with Russia didn't come to pass. It says, "I will turn thee back and put hooks in thy jaws." Shows you also how the Lord is controlling. You know what I'm saying? When you put hooks in the jaw of an animal, particularly in a fish, you have control over that fish. And once that hook get put in the jaw of that fish, he ain't going nowhere. You're gonna go exactly where I want you to go, and that's you're gonna come straight out the water. That's where you're gonna go. Onto my boat. Says, "Now then," it says, "and I will turn thee back and put hooks in thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth, and all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords." And we know, as it says, right? Let me pull this right quick. Confused noise. This is Isaiah 9 and 5. It says, "For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood. But this shall be with burning and fuel of fire." So we know when it speaks about those, it speaks about Ezekiel speaking about, go back to it says, "And all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, and all of them handling swords." It's not talking about, it's going to be like war, dudes running with guns. Nah, this war that it's talking about is going to be handled with burning of fire, aka nuclear missiles. That's what's going to be Salakia allergies. But that's what's going to be that's going to be the way of their fighting. It's not going to be no confused noise. It's going to be boom, nuclear destruction. See, it's going to be nuclear destruction. So I want to get this Jeremiah 51. Right? Jeremiah 51. And I want to start up Jeremiah 51 and I think it's 19. Right? Actually, I'm starting a little bit. This is Jeremiah 51 and I'm going to start at verse 7. It says, hold on. I'm going to start at verse 6. This is Jeremiah 51 and 6. It says, "Flee out of the midst of Babylon," which is not literal, "and deliver every man his soul." And the only ones that could actually really flee out of the midst of Babylon is really the elect of the nation of Israel, because they're the only ones that's going to be. They're going to conduct themselves with a mindset that's going to have them separate. You know what I'm saying, from the destruction come to place, and eventually they're going to actually going to flee out or be beamed up out of Babylon, the great America. But it says, "And deliver a man his soul, be not cut off in her iniquity," which is the rest of the nation. Israel will be cut off in her iniquity with her. "For this is a time," when I say the rest of the nation, because we know not all the Israelites are in Babylon, Great America, but majority are. So majority of the nation will be cut off. "For this is the time of the Lord's vengeance. He will render her recompense. Babylon has been a golden cup in the Lord's Yahweh, Bashim hand, that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine. Therefore the nations are mad." You see? The nations have become mad at drinking of the wine of this Babylon the Great, right? So going from there, before we finish reading that, I want to get Revelation. I want to get Revelation 13. That speaks about it. Speaks about not necessarily that exactly, but it speaks about pretty much how the end of this empire would be. So I'm gonna read that. I want to read this real quick. It's Revelation 13, and I'm gonna get to the point. Verse 2, it says, "And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard," which is talking about the Greeks, right? "And his feet were as the feet of a bear." Now, but nevertheless, the leopard is the Greeks, but all at the end of the day, this is the Edomites. This is the Edomites. This is the Edomites kingdom. The beast is representation of a man with a beast-like mentality. You know what I'm saying? Which is Esau. So this is talking about Esau's rulership. And this is going into the NATO and the EU. The NATO and the EU, you see? That's that. It's talking about the NATO and the EU. So it's in the beast which I saw like unto a leopard, right? Which is the Greeks. And his feet were as the feet of a bear. And who is that talking about? It's talking about Russia. And when you think about the feet of a thing, of something, the feet is the end of it. You see, going into that statue, how in that statue that it speaks about in Daniel, we're at the feet, we're at the end of the Gentiles' rulership, the Gentiles being in power. And it says, "And his mouth as the mouth of the lion, and the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority," which is, this is talking about the NATO and the EU. You see, because that's how America even got its power. It's that little horn that came out, as it speaks about in Daniel. You see. So this is that NATO and the EU is that beast. This chapter goes into how it kind of came into power. You see, but like nevertheless, see the bear will be the end of it. The bear will be the feet of it. You see the bear. So now we got that, the bear, which is Russia, and even you can see it now. Like Russia, they're it's like their whole MO is like the bear. Like even like Ukrainians, like because Ukrainians, they're initially a part of Russia. They was a part of Russia during the time of the Soviet Union. They're initially a part of Russia. That's Russia's territory. But as you see there, even Ukraine not fucking. Now you're not really fucking with America. After you've seen what happened recently with Zelensky and Trump and the vice president, no, you can't even fuck with them, man. We can't go side with Russia. But like we said, you know. Keep reading that. Says, "Battle has been a golden cup in the Lord's hand," and this plays a part that the Lord put it in their spirit and their minds to do His will. Because the nations are mad, and now they're going to retaliate, do something dumb. Because at the end all be all, these nations don't initially they don't want to offer America. They just don't like how America running shit. They don't want to offer them. They just don't like how they running shit because America is the main consumer. You read that in Revelation, I think 17 and 18. It speaks about her delicacies, if I'm not mistaken. Let me pull it because I'm going to butcher it. 18, Revelation 18. Let me see. Yes, it's the merchandise of gold, silver, and precious stones, the linen, the scarlet, you know, those things that the merchants of Babylon, the great America, you know what I'm saying? The other nations not going to be too happy when this place is off, because this who's going to buy their product, you see? Who's going to buy their product? But keep going, right? Lost where I was at. It's lucky. Yeah, it says the nations are drunken wine, the nations are mad. Babylon is suddenly fallen, destroyed. Falling and destroyed. How for her? Take balm for her pain, if so she may be healed. Right? Babylon's being destroyed. It's going on its way out. Right? Heal it. You know what I'm saying? Bring it back. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her. Let us go everyone into his own country. For her judgment reacheth unto the skies and lifted. Yes, like her judgment reacheth unto heaven and is lifted up even to the sky. So the judgment of the Lord, you know what I'm saying, that's coming upon Babylon, the great America, it can't be undone. As it reads in 2 Kings 15. You know what I'm saying? Mighty is the archer that bendeth the bow, who could send the plagues back. You know? So who could turn away the plagues? You can't turn away the plague. And the ultimate plague that's coming upon Babylon the Great is a 200 million thermonuclear missiles. You see? It's not going to be able to escape. It's not going to be able to be healed. Esau's not going to maneuver out somehow. He slid his way out. No. Your ass going to get destroyed. Your rulership. So now, I want to jump down in the same chapter. I want to jump down. In the same chapter, I want to jump down to verse 28. It says, Jeremiah 51 and 28, prepare against her the nations with the kings of the Medes, the captains thereof, all the rulers thereof, and all of the land of his dominion. You see, and the land shall tremble in sorrow, and for every purpose of the Lord Yahweh shall be performed against Babylon. Every purpose, his will. What is the Lord's will? To destroy this place. You see, the Lord's will is to destroy this place. And as a matter of fact, Salakia, I forgot to get another verse. Salakia. I'm glad I read that part. I forgot to get another verse. Or is it at verse 19? Where's it at? Yeah, this verse 25. It's Jeremiah 51 and 25. I forgot. Salakia. I'm glad I read that part. I forgot that it says, behold, I am against thee, O destroying mountain, saith the Lord Yahweh. Which destroyeth all the earth. I will stretch out my hand upon thee, and I will roll thee down from the rocks, and will make thee a burnt mountain. You see, this is that judgment. This is that purpose that we just read about. Now we jump down to verse 28. It says, prepare against her the nations with the kings of the Medes. Now who are the Medes? The Medes is talking about the ones that inherited. The Medes are the Iranians, pretty much. The Medes. The Medes are the Iranians. The ones that are still in that territory of the Medes and the Persians, they still the same nation right there, pretty much, as the Iranians. It's Iran. You know what I'm saying? Iran, they're still the same. The Medes, the Iran, is the Medes, Iran. Media Persia is Iran. It says the captains thereof, all the rulers thereof, and all the land of his dominion. Because who was backing Iran? Russia. So Russia is included in this part here. It talks about the Medes, but who's backing the Medes? Russia. So you fuck with the Medes, you're fucking with Russia. You fucking with Gog and Magog. So keep going. Verse 29 says, and the Lord shall tremble and sorrow for every purpose of the Lord, which we just read that purpose. He going to make this a burnt mountain. You see? And how he's going to make this a burnt mountain? By using the Medes, the Russians, and the ones that are affiliated with NATO and with the whore. They're going to turn their back on her. He's going to use all of them to make this place a burnt mountain, alongside with some little spadazzles from the chariots. You see, little heat rays emitting from the chariots. It's going to make Babylon the Great a desert, only inhabitable by the animals of the desert, the beasts of the desert, scorpions, tortoise, whatever you could think of. Not whatever, but the animals that pertain towards that environment that you could think of, they'll be there. So it says, and the Lord shall tremble and sorrow, for every purpose of the Lord shall be performed against Babylon, to make the land of Babylon a desolation without an inhabitant. You see, this is the will of the Lord. This is the purpose of the Lord, which cannot be undone. You cannot escape it. You cannot wiggle out of it. This is the day of doom. There's no escaping it. See? So I want to get this. I'll end it off with this scripture right here. This is Revelation chapter 8, because it speaks about that too. Revelation chapter 8. I want to low key jump around in it, but let me see. Yep, it's good. This is Revelation 8, because this goes into the judgment. This is Revelation 8, and I'm going to get to the verse. I'm going to jump around. It says that, I'm going to start at verse 5. It says, and the angel took the censer and filled it with the fire of the altar and cast it into the earth. And there were voices and thunders and lightnings and earthquake. And you read about that in Isaiah 24. The earth to and fro like a drunkard, because it like an earthquake, because of the 200 million thermonuclear missiles that's going to be hitting America predominantly. Only America's going to be hit by 200 million thermonuclear missiles, but it's going to be shot back and forth. But America going to get hit with 200 million. Thus said the Lord. Right? It's going to cause an earthquake, a shake. It's going to be a big shake. You see? You got to think about that. And it says, and the seven angels which have seven trumpets prepare themselves to sound. Right? Let you know that this judgment not going to perform until those seven trumpets are sounded. Right? It says the first angel sounded, and there followed hail and fire mingled with blood. And this is talking about the nuclear missiles. This is how John the Revelator could describe them for the type of things that he seen at that time that he was at, when he was in Rome at that time. Well, he was on the island of Patmos, but he was in Rome. It says he's under the Roman rule at the time. And they were cast upon the earth, and the third part of the trees were burnt up, and all the green grass were burnt up. And the third part of the trees is going into Esau. Esau's rulership. Esau. That's the third part of the trees. He was burnt up. You see? So now that we read that, and because it keeps going into that, jumping down to verse 10, it says, then the third angel sounded, and there fell a great star from heaven, burning as it were a lamp, going into the missile, and it fell upon the third part of the rivers and upon the fountains of waters. And the name of that star is called Wormwood, and the third part of the waters became wormwood, and you can see it's with Chernobyl. You know what I'm saying? Which Chernobyl is the Ukrainian, as I say Ukrainian way, but the Russian way are saying wormwood. It's Chernobyl. You see? Which Chernobyl or wormwood means contamination. So the waters is going to become contaminated from all the nuclear destruction going on. You see? And it says, and the name of the star is called Wormwood, and the third part of the waters became wormwood. And many men died in waters because they were bitter. Exactly. So anybody that drunk of the waters, that will use those waters for their house and whatnot, they're gonna die because it's contaminated. It's nuclear contamination. I said it's nuclear contamination. That's what's gonna happen. It's gonna be nuclear waste, nuclear contamination, right? Now this is the point I wanted to get. And the fourth angel sounded, and the third part of the sun was smitten, and the third part of the moon, and the third part of the stars. Now, what is this talking about? The sun, the moon, the stars. This is representing of pretty much knowledge, wisdom and knowledge. So the wisdom and knowledge was darkened, which means it wasn't there. So as the third, it says, it keeps going, it says, so as the third part of them was darkened, and the day shone not for a third part of the light, not likewise. Exactly. So what is this going to? This is pretty much going to that there's not going to be no way. Esau's not going to conjure up some type of knowledge, some wisdom, or a plan. In other words, to be able to escape this judgment that the Lord is going to bring upon their kingdom. You see, there's no way. That's why I said the sun was dark and the moon was dark and the stars. There was no light in the tunnel. It was no light. It was no way to get out. If you walking in a dark place and you have no light, you have no sense of direction to get to where you're trying to go. Well, Esau's going to try to escape the judgment, and he's not going to have no sense of direction because there's not going to be no light shining from him. It's going to be darkened. There ain't going to be no way to escape. You see? And it's not, and then another thing too, like the sun, the moon, the stars, it's not like a particular order, like, oh, the sun is a wisdom, this is, but that's just referring to that what? He won't be able to escape the judgment that the Lord is bringing upon his place, upon Babylon, the great America, Esau's kingdom. That's why seeing that red hand, or it's like a dead hand mechanism, clearly just another emphasis on the fact that Esau's not going to be able to escape the Lord's judgment. So, because Esau lets the nigga come, if a nigga will say that, what if they shoot the stuff where they shoot the missiles? Then Russia ain't gonna be able to shoot no more missiles. Well, they got a mechanism called dead hand man, or whatever, dead hand, which doesn't require a person to actually touch the button. They will be shut off. If a particular spots get destroyed, it would trigger them to automatically shoot off those missiles, which is part of prophecy. Because those missiles is going to be part in destroying Babylon, the great America. Because Russia's going to be the main one doing that, according to prophecy. We just read it. So, Lord, when this is edifying to the power and spirit of Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai, and feed you lemon sheeps of Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai, we're going to end it off by saying, call Allah Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai Bahashem Rachakodash. I'm going to give double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and to y'all, Lord, this is edifying, and to y'all, I'm going to say Shalom.